Hello, YouTube. Just thought I'd share with you a little bit of Hut 2.0 and the Fireplace and how it works. Basically, it's candle powered. I don't know if you can see my breath here in the air. It is very cold today, I think in the 40s. And how this fireplace works is that you light the candles and it heats up the air, which the heat gets absorbed by the cinder blocks. So that helps with retaining the heat and spreading it out slowly. So once you've got the system going for a while, the cinder blocks will keep releasing heat. That way heat doesn't just go straight into the air and get lost, even though that's what it's doing. It's essentially heating the air. Now, is this going to be enough to heat up the entire hut? More than likely not. I haven't really run it that long right now, so I'm not sure. But just standing in this section right here in front of the fireplace, I can already feel the heat radiating. Now, what I'm going to do is try to get a mirror and put it back here so that it bounces back more light and possibly more heat. But for now, this is the setup. And basically just designed for looks to make it look nice in here. Got something fancy, you know. A little fancy fireplace underneath the painting there. And just the ability to kind of warm up a little bit. I've also started to decorate, as you can see. I got some paintings from Goodwill and did that just to give the place kind of a homey feel. But this is what the hut currently looks like. It's actually very usable. Now I do have some issues with the power. The battery, it says like it's at 11 it's like 11.2. I don't know if you can read it here when it comes up. 11.2, and doesn't seem to be going any higher, even though the solar panel says it is charging. I only have like a 25 watt panel, which I've keep relocating, but I put it up on the roof, and it's not in direct sunlight, so it's not getting the maximum power. But there was no easy place to mount it where it would get direct sunlight, so I'm just keeping it in the section that it's at right now, even though it's kind of shaded throughout the entire day. But you know, the green charge light is showing up on here, so supposedly it's sending power down here to the battery, but it doesn't seem to be charging the battery above 11.2, which is kind of bad because that's not enough power to run the TV here. And even the lights, I can run it a little bit. Like if I turn it on, you'll see here I can turn the lamps on. You know, the lamp is off, and it is daytime right now. This is morning, but I can turn the lamp on. I don't know if you just saw the light come on here, but I have enough power that I can run lights. So at night it's not dark, but you know, the TV does work right now, but you'll see, let me shut all this power off. It's one of the things about providing your own power. If you don't have enough of a large enough power source and battery bank to provide you all the power you need, you kind of need to monitor the power usage. So I tend to shut things off when I'm not using it. But let's go ahead and show you the TV does work, but the battery pack will probably start beeping. See, it's beeping right now because there's not enough electricity. TV works, but I'm going to shut it off because the TV was drawing too much and the battery pack's going to die. It's going to damage the battery. So I'm probably going to take that battery pack out to my vehicle and charge it up and see how much of a charge it can hold. And it's going to be an issue with the system charging itself and running its own power. It's currently not able to do that. I'm going to need probably a larger battery pack, you know, like 2 or 3 battery bank, and also a larger solar panel. I'm thinking really realistically to run an off-grid house or a hut or whatever. I think ideally you should have at least 1,000 to 2,000 watts to run the place. I'm only at 25, so that's nowhere near enough. And you would need several battery banks. I would probably say at least 4, 5, 6 of these batteries. Each of these batteries, I think, gives like 100 amp hours, 115 amp hours. So even 5 is like 500 amp hours. That's still not enough. Really, you need about 1 or 2,000 amp hours. So I'm nowhere near enough to run a building completely off grid. But this is kind of a test for me to see what can be done and to learn the process through hands-on actual build and seeing what you can do. You know, some of it's kind of using primitive ways of heating, not so primitive as fire, fireplace or fire pit, but we can use candles and cinder blocks. So I'll be building some other heat warmers, space warmers, and we'll showcase those just to show some ideas on things you can do to try to stay warm, because it is kind of cold in here. And the reason it's so cold is all this open space. You can see I've got vent holes everywhere. We've got windows all around, so it makes for a fantastic view, but it allows all the cold air to blow right through here. So that was kind of designed on purpose because this is Florida, and the idea was to keep the building as cool as possible. So it's certainly doing that. It's staying cold right now, but that's because it's winter. So during the summer, though, we'll see how well this design actually works with all the open space. The other thing about having the open space is you don't really have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning, because air is just blowing straight through. So any carbon monoxide that's released from cooking or from burning candles and stuff will blow out of the building. So, you don't have to really worry about too much about carbon monoxide poisoning in this building. Now, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but just thought I'd show you a little bit of what things currently look like at Hut 2.0, and, just an idea for heating. What's really cool about this fireplace is that this is real cinder blocks. So these were like $1.15, $1.20, maybe like under $2 each from Home Depot. And then the candles were $1 each from Dollar Tree. And the bottom, though, you'll notice it looks almost like it's concrete block, but it's actually not. It's made with that Fleck paint, and I didn't make it. I saw this at Goodwill for like $16, and I went ahead and splurged the money on it because I saw that it would match the what I had designed for the fireplace. Originally, I had it sitting on this unit, which I bought for $9, but now I'm just using that as a cabinet. And I was going to put Fleck paint on it and stuff, but I walked by Goodwill and saw that somebody had already done one, and it was decorative already. It had all these fancy things on it. So, let's just show you how this works. It's just wood, but you can see specks of the paint. It's a paint that's called Fleck paint, and it's designed to look like different types of stones, from marble to, this one is, I think, supposed to be granite, and it's just fancy looking, and I like it. I think they did a really good job with this, even though this isn't even wood, though. This is that stupid fiberboard stuff that falls apart. But since they had it done, and I thought it would look good at the as part of the fireplace, I went ahead and bought it. It just saves me time, and that Fleck paint is not cheap. It's expensive. I think it's like $4 a can, and that project there probably took them, maybe if they got lucky, they did 1 can, but possibly 2 cans. I was thinking of doing the same here, and now I don't have to do it. And theirs is a little bit more fancy with the little decorative stuff on there. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. This is what Hut 2.0 currently looks like. I might as well give a little slight tour. This is my little workstation area here where I can work. And of course, the TV also serves as a computer monitor. I'm going to shut this power off because when you have it on, it uses electricity. I may get a smaller inverter because I'm not cooking or doing anything out here and don't have enough power to cook. So the size of the inverter that you use actually does matter. This is a 750 watt inverter, which I don't really conceive using out here at this hut. So I may downgrade that to possibly a 300 watt inverter or even smaller. I gotta find out what this TV uses, but I don't think this TV uses that much. If I can get away with it, I might even go with a 150 watt, or under 200 watt inverter. Because when you have the inverter turned on, it'll actually use power. That's even if you don't have anything else turned on, but the inverter itself eats up energy, eats up power from the battery bank, the battery pack. So the smaller you can go, for your minimum requirements, the better. So I'm going to look at this TV and find out what the how many watts it needs, and the lights are, I think about, because they're using LED lights, only about 8 watts each, so that's 16. I might round it up to 20. Then I'm thinking the TV and possibly a computer. So I'm pretty sure a 200 or 300 watt unit would be enough to power everything I need to power in here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, and more than likely they'll probably go with a 300, 350 watt unit. Now I do have 12 volt fans that also run into the cigarette lighter hubs. So this power pack is a 12 volt battery pack that can be upgraded, like get cycled up here with the inverter to 120 volts to run 120 volt appliances. Now for cooking, I am using butane system, not propane, little butane canisters. And what I found is each of these canisters is enough to make about 3 or 4 meals before it runs out. So that's pretty much it. And water I've been bringing in. I do have water catchment out there, but it hasn't really caught enough water yet. Initially, I had caught some water from the roofing, but decided to toss all that water because I had coated the roof of the building here with Thompson's liquid seal to try to let the water run off, but it proved to be like oily and kind of, possibly poisonous. So I dumped all that water and hope to catch fresh water out there. This water won't be used for drinking or anything, but used for washing dishes and other things like that. Rinsing off and maybe even taking a shower out here in the woods. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative and useful. Don't know when it's going to run because right now Hut 2.0 is kind of a secret project. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all.